Bassmaster's cameras are at Lake Lanier today, the big, deep impoundment northeast of Atlanta. Officially, we're here to cover the $195,000 Bassmaster Georgia Invitational, a three-day fish-off with $35,000 on the line. Unofficially, they call this the Tom Mann Jr. Bass Fishing Benefit. Last time the Bass Angler Sportsman Society's tournament trail stopped here in 1992, Tom ran away with the big money, and he's the favorite to do it again. But Tom says conditions are not the best for his success.
This has been a really off year anyway. We've had our lake turned over a month late here. We've had no cold weather. This is the coolest weather we've had right here, if you want to call it cool. And you know, the water temperature for my fishing, it's got to be in the mid to low 50s to be, you know, right. So, you know, I'm going to try to scratch me out a limit every day and see where I end up and be happy with what I catch.
With defending champion Tom Mann Jr. predicting a tough time for the spotted bass pros, that gives hope to the largemouth bass chasers like Tommy Biffle of Oklahoma, an expert at pitching a jig and catching big bass in the upper river areas of Lanier. And if the largemouth bass bite, Kevin Van Dam of Michigan could be a repeat winner. The former Bass Angler of the Year weighed in 61 pounds 13 ounces in 1991 Bassmaster BP Top 100, the heaviest total in 5 BASS events on Lanier. But that's history. Stay tuned. I'm Bob Cobb. The Bassmasters will be right back with first round action in the Georgia Invitational, and we'll find out how they're biting.
Lake Sidney Lanier, a 40,000-acre North Georgia impoundment with some of the best spotted bass fishing credentials in the country. Maybe not the place to go to catch a world record-sized spotted bass, but if you want quantity over quality, this is the place. Lanier is also home base for some of the Bassmaster Tournament Trail's top touring pros, spotted bass experts like Tom Mann Jr. and Mickey Bruce of Buford and Cliff Craft of Sewanee, all past winners on the BASS circuit. Doug Youngblood of nearby Sugar Hill and Claude Fishburne from Kenton launched their careers on Lanier. The lake has been a good teacher. Lake Lanier is actually two separate fisheries in one package. The clear, deeper lower end supports the highly regarded spotted bass fishery, while the upper lake with the winding Chattahoochee and Chastity rivers is the area probed by largemouth fishermen in the more off-colored water. Normally in early December, conditions favor the local pros and spotted bass experts. The fish should be on offshore structure, but as the Bassmaster Georgia Invitational gets underway, the surface water temperature is in the upper 50s in some areas, and overnight lows only recently dipped into the 40s with the passage of a cold front. A confusing time for both the fish and the fishermen. However, defending champion Tom Mann Jr. is doing what he knows best this first morning. He's fishing the deeper drops and flooded timber for spotted bass. Tom's hooked a good fish before the cameras, but overall, it's been a rather disappointing beginning. He started late in the 307 angler checkout at Holiday Marina and missed the early bite. However, the bright, clear skies should favor his style of deeper water fishing. The contestants are paired by a BASS computer drawing. The daily limit is 5 bass with a minimum 12-inch size. The angler with the best 3-day total weight earns a $35,000 payoff. Besides the prize awards, the anglers are seeking qualifying points toward the Bassmasters Classic World Championship. The 1995 Classic is set August 3rd through 5th, again at Greensboro, North Carolina. 5 pros from the Eastern Division Bassmaster Invitational Trail will qualify. Up lake, the cold front conditions and high muddy water should play into the hands of jig fishermen and flippin' pros like Denny Brower. This Missouri angler has the well-earned reputation of catching them when the bite is slow. His secret weapon is a rattling jig of his own design. The built-in noisemaker seems to trigger bass to bite. The combination made Denny a lot of money, $208,900 when he set the single-season BASS record in 1992-93. That's a keeper and a good start for Denny. But Tommy Biffle of Oklahoma is having one of those days you hate. The bass just comes unbuttoned. The 1993 BASS Megabucks champion figures to score high when conditions favor a jig bite. But at the day one weigh-in, the well-known tournament trail flipping pros and spotted bass experts are upstaged by Michigan's E.B. Smiley. He's got a 5 bass limit weighing 17 pounds 6 ounces. He anchors the day's best string with his 7-pound 13-ounce largemouth, worth a $1,000 bonus as the day's big bass. However, for E.B., it wasn't easy pickings.
It was a struggle, but the place I was fishing when I was practicing before cutoff, it wasn't any struggle, but the weather's making it hard to bite. I had to fish it pretty slow.
Cold water, cold temperatures, and you say fish it slow. Sounds like a jig bite to me.
Well, the water is 45 degrees where I was at, so that's cold.
For the spotted bass anglers, it'll take some work to equal E.B. Smiley's largemouth bag. And Tom Mann Jr. has already put himself in the hole.
I did a cardinal boo-boo. Most people I don't think would ever do, but I do it. I do it when I got a lot of confidence. The first cast I made this morning, I caught a keeper bass, and I unhooked him, threw him back in the lake. I think I told you that. Because I don't like to catch one on the first cast. To me, that's bad luck. But maybe I might ought to kept that fish now that I think back on it.
Another local favorite is Mickey Bruce.
He's right in there. Don't count him out. 8 pounds and 4 ounces. Mickey, you got a lot of fans out there. What can you tell them? Can they pull for you?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank them for coming up here and watching me weigh them 5 little skinny fish, but hopefully it'll get a little bit better, you know. I can think of all kind of excuses why the fish aren't biting, but it's early yet, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the week.
The best bag of spotted bass belongs to Jerry Guest of Royston, Georgia. 14 pounds, 9 ounces. And an interesting twist to this tournament is that Jerry's staying at Mickey Bruce's house in Beaufort. Maybe they'll figure things out.
I had the limit this morning fairly early, and then we struggled. I don't know where the fish quit biting, or I had several places, but it was real tough, and I caught one of those 3-pounders about on my last cast, in fact, and called a pound fish.
Only 43 5 bass limits are scored the first round. And E.B. Smiley of Sparta, Michigan owns almost a 3-pound advantage with his 17 pounds 6 ounces. Jerry Guest ranks second, followed by Paul Henley of Hull, Georgia. Among local favorites, Claude Fishburne is tied for 4th. Surprisingly, Cliff Kraft, Mickey Bruce, and Tom Mann Jr. are missing from the top 10 standings. Don't go away. The Bassmasters are coming right back, and we'll find out how the pros track down the winning pattern in the Bassmaster Georgia Invitational at Lake Sidney Lanier. Day 2, clear, bright skies, a post-cold front situation. Tournament leader E.B. Smiley knows about fishing colder water. This northern basser was Angler of the Year in Canada. Slow down, fish a jig and pig in low gear, and you'll usually get some results. But Lake Lanier's largemouth are noted for frequent periods of inactivity. Local anglers claim the largemouth only feed 1 out of 3 days. Jerry Guest is catching spotted bass in deep water, but it might surprise some anglers how deep.
45 to 55 feet. You catch them on a jig, a half-ounce jig. And up till today, I've been using 20-pound test line, and this morning, evidently, they didn't want the 20-pound test off. My partner caught the first 4 fish. He used 14-pound test line. So I switched to 14-pound test, and I've caught 2 since then. But the bite's real slow, and they're real finicky. But there are a lot of fish here. They're about probably stretch 150 yards. This old channel's coming out. It's got brush on the side of it, and it's got some trees that comes up about 30 feet of the surface. Part of the fishing is in the top of the trees up till the sun gets high, then I'll go down to the bottom of the brush in the trees. Yesterday, it was 2 minutes out of 9, I had a limit, so it's a lot tougher for me this morning. The fish are here because of the bait fish, and the cold, they were farther back in the creek, but the cold front pushed them out here on this brush. But if we have a cloudy, rainy day, they'll scatter again, they won't be here, or you can't catch them. They just in here feeding for the winter. There's a lot of shad right here in the mouth of the creek. But if it gets cloudy, the shad will move in and they'll suspend, you can't catch the fish. Sun's important because it keeps the fish tight to the brush, and the shad stays down. When it gets cloudy, shad comes up, and the bass follows, and they just scatter. They then we'll hold tight from that. Small one. I'll take him right now.
Yesterday, E.B. Smiley caught his big bag from flooded brush in 5-foot water. Today, there are no takers on his jig and pork.
Come on, fish it.
Jerry Guest is fishing a jig and plastic trailer.
Stanley jig head, half-ounce jig head. Got a zoom skirt and a twin tail trailer on it.
Jerry's partner, Julian Reitzel of High Point, North Carolina, is having quite a day for himself. Yesterday, Julian weighed in 1 pound 9 ounces. Today, he's caught a 5 bass limit and has over 11 pounds of spotted bass in the live well. He's made a quick study of how to fish a jig and trailer in the deep water treetops.
Your partner?
At the Day 2 weigh-in, as expected with the cold front conditions, the spotted specialists take charge of the standings. Jerry Guest, with 9 pounds 11 ounces and a 2-day total of 24 pounds 4 ounces, moves on top the leaderboard. Yesterday's leader, E.B. Smiley, drops to second. Darrell Wilbanks of South Carolina jumps from 7th into 3rd and adds yet another sidebar to the tournament.
I'm doing something not a lot of people are doing. About the same thing Jerry's doing. We're staying together and we're on different parts of the lake doing about the same thing. And I had a limit in 55 minutes today.
You and Jerry Guest, who's leading the tournament now, you're all roommates? You're all partners?
Yeah, we're friends and we're staying at Mickey Bruce with Mickey Bruce this week. And he's been great. And we all been working together and found our own fish, and all we got to do is catch them.
Oh,
Mickey Bruce has certainly been a most accommodating host.
You must talk in your sleep. They found out all your secrets.
Those guys can catch them, doesn't matter where I talk or not, but I'm sure there's a lot of rumors going around. I know good and well I can't find enough fish for myself most of the time, let alone anybody else, but I kind of give them an idea of what was going on, and they're good enough fishermen they found their own fish, so I wished everyone the best of luck, but I've had some pretty bad unfortunate luck or mishaps or whatever so far. Maybe I got that out of the way today, and tomorrow I'll have a good day.
Stay tuned. The final round of the Bassmaster Georgia Invitational promises to be a real shootout. Guest, Wilbanks, and Bruce. Sounds like a bunch of lawyers about to argue over $35,000. The final round and another weather change. With cloud cover, tournament leader Jerry Guest makes an adjustment in his pattern.
I started a little shallower, if you call 45 feet shallower, but the shed has moved right here now, so out here. I run my graph and found the shed, and they moved up here in about 40, 45 feet instead of about 60-foot water. And I started off with a spoon. I had a real good fish on. It come off just before I got in the top of the water. But these fish is gonna scatter more now. They're gonna follow the shad, not necessarily be on the brush.
Darrell Wilbanks has fished within sight of the Holiday Marina and tournament headquarters for 3 days. He's not burned a gallon of gas.
Early in the day, I've been catching them on these little drops. Between 40 and 50 foot deep. And then as the day goes on, the fish seem to bunch up out here in this gully. And they get a lot easier to catch. But I've been jigging a spoon.
Mickey Bruce thinks the weather change and clouds could work in his favor.
These fish aren't going anywhere. It's just that the pattern I'm fishing, I kind of like it better with the sunshine. It keeps the fish tighter to the structure. Without the sunshine, the low pressure, the fish are roaming around more. And I just messed up. A lot of times they'll be at the base of these trees. Today with the low pressure, they're right in the tops of them. Right where I planted that jig. But I really like my chances. I got 3 nice fish and one about 1.5 pounds, and probably got 10 pounds of fish right now. So, another nice fish, and I'll be in contention to win. What I'm fishing is ditches with standing timber along the edge of it. All the bait in the lake has gone deep since the turnover, and the fish are just roaming around, chasing the bait. They kind of park in these trees every once in a while, and it's kind of tough to fish a Stanley jig like I'm fishing down 45, 50 foot deep. But a lot of the fish aren't that deep. They're actually suspended up in the top of the tree. This may be the smallest fish, unless it's going to turn on me, that I've caught. A little better than I thought. Well, that's not the one I'm looking for, but that's number 5. Thank you, Lord.
3 good fishermen, 3 good friends. Which one will come out on top? The final weigh-in, and Darrell Wilbanks is first to arrive at the scales.
6-12, does that put him in the lead? We got a new leader. Look at this. All right. Man, you have caught 3 straight limits. And where have you been fishing?
Close.
You could have fished on your trolling motor. This man right here may win the tournament, and he's been fishing in sight of you all day.
Yesterday's leader, Jerry Guest, is a bit disappointed. He weighs in only 3 bass and 3 pounds, 10 ounces.
They only had 6 bites, so I'm still happy. I had 2 good days.
I was just told by Ann Lewis, the Bass Public Relations Director, that you haven't lost the lead yet. You've got a margin of 1 ounce. You're still leading by 1 ounce. You heard some discussion earlier, and you don't need an introduction to this guy. It's Mickey Bruce. He needs 9 pounds, 1 ounce to win the tournament. What's it look like, Mickey? Have you got it?
I don't know. You can't never tell. I feel pretty good about it. Sure do.
You want to weigh them, or you want to talk?
Yeah, before they dry out.
All right, put them on the scales and let's see. Needs 9-1 to take the lead and possibly win the tournament. Look at that, 11 pounds and 3 ounces for Mickey Bruce. He's taking the lead. The old pro showed him what to do when the overcast came.
I really don't think that's what it was. The fish I was catching, it didn't make any difference what the weather did, and I knew that without some backup holes and the way my friends were doing, that the overcast was going to hurt them. And I just happened to have enough spots to keep going, and I went to a couple of places today that I haven't been, and it really paid off.
For Mickey Bruce, it's a big payday worth $35,000. And it's an angling anniversary. 10 years ago today, Mickey won the Super Bass 2 tournament here on Lake Lanier and launched his professional bass fishing career. But he won't forget this moment either. A come-from-behind win and a 1-2-3 finish by 3 good friends. Right now, it's time for the Pros Pointer, the how-to section of the Bassmasters. Brought to you by Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans.
There's 2 main reasons why I think I won this tournament. Both of them pertain to this trailer. One of them is I placed a rattler in the trailer on all my jigs, especially this last day. I'd like to show you how to place a rattler in. With this 2, bore a hole all the way through, out, pull it out, place the jig, place the rattler into the trailer, push it in, insert it on your jig. Your finished product looks like this. One other key reason is that a lot of times when you set the hook, the trailer will slide down. If you keep your bait down there, you can catch the fish that just hit you. Simply take 1 drop of super glue and place it on the head of the trailer prior to pushing it up, and you can set the hook all you want to, and it won't slide.
Great win for Mickey Bruce, but he may have just broke even. His wife said those special guests sure could eat. But they enjoyed every moment of it, and we enjoyed their sportsmanship. Next week, our Bassmasters cameras follow the tournament trail to Sam Rayburn Lake for the $195,000 Bassmaster Texas Invitational. There's big bass and big bucks on the line. Hope you'll join us. For the Bassmasters, I'm Bob Cobb. Hope to see you all right here next Sunday.
The Bassmasters has been brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Motor Guide, the